You can step outside of the bounds and the confines of whatever you were raised with. All right, welcome back, wormlings. Today we are reading. Let me flip up the hair. Hold on. We're reading another essay today. Yes, we are. The name of the essay is "Cost of Strawberries" by Kimberly Peterson. After retiring, I moved to a rural property nuzzled by acres of strawberries. I was surprised the first time a dozen Mexican farm workers arrived with spring. These laborers gently combed tawny mulch from plant crowns. Snippets of Spanish songs waft across fields as they heave 10-foot irrigation pipes off trailers and assemble them like a Lego set. From my patio, they appear content as they toil between rows of serrated strawberry leaves swishing in the can-can breeze. They remind me of my energetic young sons on long-ago treks to local pick-your-own farms. I taught them to select strawberries in full crimson blush, avoid the white-tip ones. We cupped tender berries in our palms, severed their stems with thumbnails pressed against index finger. We gorged ourselves on fresh fruit before I crushed the remaining bounty and mixed it with pectin. Divided it into preserved jars that I froze. I could defrost the scent of summer during shivering winter. I forgot my slick perspiration. Throb in my back and leg muscles after a mere 90 minutes of effort. I didn't think about the workers' existence after they left the field until the spring of 2020. Nations erect fences too porous to contain a tiny virus. Desperate fruit farmers lobby for an agricultural exemption. Now I see these unmasked laborers arrive with the pink blush of sunrise. They travel shoulder to shoulder in the back of trucks without seatbelts. Weed between plants with the energy of my once young sons until the trucks transport them away at dusk. We never talk, but I become familiar with their mannerisms. Stocky Bonifacio wears a red toque and squats. Blue-hooded Rogelio bends forward. Juan, the tallest one, spreads his straight legs in a wide V. He laughs and holds his bushel of weeds aloft like a trophy before he dumps it at the end of each row. White freckled fields replace flowers with berries. These agro-athletes two-handed pluck berries hidden beneath trios of leaves. When winter looms, workers tuck plants into a blanket of straw for protection before flying home. While fixing my sump pump, the farmer's brother explains. Sure, they're paid less than the minimum wage, but room and board is free. Most return every year. The Canadian government deems these temporary foreign workers as essential skilled labor and requires a 14-day quarantine after arrival. We protect ourselves with white-top precision. How do we treat agricultural workers severed from their families? We crush them together in trucks, pack them in houses containing 20 men, fail to supply protective equipment, ship Bonifacio Eugenio Romero, Rogelio Muñoz Santos, and Juan Lopez Chaparro home from southwestern Ontario in coffins, all to satisfy our appetite for affordable strawberries cared for tenderly to avoid bruising. That was a good read. And when I say a good read, I love when people have those eureka moments. Y'all ever seen somebody have a eureka moment right in front of you, in front of your face? I find that to be a beautiful thing. The way you could just see like the light bulb just clicking in their brain like, oh shit, whether it's something that they're discovering about themselves, about other people, about the world, about systems. It's a beautiful thing. Sometimes the light bulbs don't click in just like a mere conversation. Sometimes it takes, unfortunately, like terrible things for the light bulb to click for some people. And for a lot of us, I'll say not even some people. For a lot of us, the light bulb won't click until something really happens that forces you to see a thing for what it is. I feel like in society, especially I would say in the Western side of the world, empathy is in like a major, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a deficit, like there is a lack of abundance in it, you know what I'm saying? There's not enough. I feel like a lot of people treat empathy as this thing that they need to kind of like put to the side, and then they can, bring it out like they're taking out a purse. Like, I'll use the little one today. I don't need a big one. That's too much, right? And I feel like oftentimes people won't even choose the empathy purse. Sometimes they're like, I don't need it. I'll go grab that in a couple months from now. I don't care for it right now. For what? I only care about myself and what I got going on with myself. Empathy isn't supposed to be an optional thing that you just take on and off. It's supposed to be a part of you. You know, like your skin. It's a part of you. It's on you. It's in you. A lot more empathy would resolve a lot of these political issues that we have nowadays. I feel like so much can be resolved through just seeing a person. I think a lot of people are so used to being in little bubbles of themselves and certain specific types of cultures or societies or whatever. They grow up and they live in these little bubbles where they're able to separate themselves from the other, right? Whatever the other may be. And this goes for any race, background, whatever the fuck, right? And I feel like it ends up being harmful because all it does is kind of like create, I feel like, a cult-like mentality. And we see it all the time, especially nowadays. It's very loud, especially in America, the way immigrants are treated. And it's not just in America. This is an issue in other countries as well, on this side of the world. Expose yourself to others that maybe don't look like you or maybe don't believe in the same thing as you in whatever facet capacity that may be. Exposure therapy. I think that'll fix a lot of the problems. I feel like everyone should strive to have an open mind. And I think part of the big problem is that so many people live with such closed minds. They don't want to expand it out of fear. I think the fear is valid. When you're always told this thing is the correct thing, I understand why you have a fear of expanding your mind past whatever box you were told you're supposed to stay in or that society is supposed to be in. But the thing is, we're not going to get anywhere positive when we continue to move off of fear, whatever that fear may look like. It's not conducive to creating a better society. It's especially a place like, the US, where it's like, this is a melting pot of cultures and people, yet people still somehow end up living in bubbles. People can still create such bubbles, even in a place like this where so many cultures and stuff in this country, right? And, and that can be due to a variety of things. Sometimes, financial status has a lot to do with that. Financial status, and that's a big one because financial status will often dictate whether you're able to travel around and explore places or not. More often than not. For me, as a person, I think I've always been exposed to a lot of different people from a lot of different places. I think my upbringing from the jump, I was always meant to explore. And I was always meant to sit on this crossroads, whether racially, culturally, in so many different ways. I feel like I've sat at a crossroads. And it's been an interesting experience. I personally feel like there's been a lot of pros to it, And I can only imagine, like, damn, what would life have been like if I didn't get to have this kind of exposure that I have to so many different cultures and types of people and stuff. I don't even want to, I think I've always been very hell-bent on exploration. I think one way or another, even if my life wasn't in such a crossroads way, I think my ass would have still found a way, to explore and meet other people. I was always fascinated, I think, with learning about anything new, and that includes others. Because of that, I'm able to bring an interesting perspective to things, a more open one. Part of what has helped me open my mind more and more and more over time is being in different places, traveling in different states, meeting people from different countries, being in different environments, exploring different religions, exploring different languages to an extent, because I technically only know two. Exploring different musics in different languages, kind of where I'm getting at with that part, right? You realize, like through this exploration, you realize how big the world and how big the universe really is. It's not as small as being in this one city, in this one town, with this one type of people, in this one type of area and stuff. I feel like when you don't go out and you get to know others, it creates this very dangerous type of space that I think I can logically understand how people end up there. But it doesn't mean you have to stay there. You can step outside of the bounds and the confines of whatever you were raised with. And I'll go ahead and wrap it up now and say that the key to a lot of the problems that we have, to these harboring feelings and resentments and things that we have, are oftentimes misdirected. Your anger is often misdirected. A lot of times the anger we have, at groups of people and stuff, is a product of the system we're in, right? And in this case, we're talking about immigrants and immigration. So if we're talking about this topic alone, I feel like your woes and your problems are missed. Your anger is not meant to go at the immigrant. Your anger is probably at the system you're in. If you feel like there's not enough jobs, it's the system that's created that way. It's not the damn person just trying to feed their kids. Aren't we all just trying to survive here? We're all just trying to survive. We're all just trying to do our best. Not everybody, but a lot of people are. you know? And the reason we don't have a better society is because a lot of people learned to cut off their empathy a long time ago. So let's work on bringing that back. Let's work on becoming more one with our own empathy. Let's work on stopping, seeing the other as the other and seeing them as an extension of you as another human being. We are all human, are we not? So we're all extensions of ourselves. So yeah, I just want to provide that perspective, that outlook on it. I really like this one, and it was published last year, April 9, 2025. So this is a fairly new essay. But yeah, I thought that was beautiful. I really enjoyed that. And with that, wormlings, I will see you on the next one, okay? Okay. Bye.